Let's go over what the no tax on tips deduction is, who qualifies, which tips count, and a few examples to help you better understand the rules before filing out Schedule 1A. Now, no tax on tips does not mean you don't need to report tips. You still generally report tips as income, but on Schedule 1A, you may claim a deduction for them if they're qualified. In order to claim the no tax on tips deduction, the person claiming it must have a valid Social Security number. If you are married, you must file jointly to claim it. Filing separately disqualifies you from claiming this deduction. Your tips must have been received in an occupation listed on the IRS tipped occupation list, such as bartending, waitressing, personal care, hairstyling, and similar jobs. These tips must be received as cash, paid voluntarily, and not be subject to negotiation. Qualified tips do not include service charges or automatic gratuities. For example, if you work as a waiter at a restaurant, that adds an automatic 18% charge for parties of 6 or more. That amount is not qualified as a qualified tip because the customer does not have a choice to pay that tip. If, on the other hand, the customer could choose 15%, 18%, 20%, another amount, or no tip at all, that tip is considered qualified. Additionally, if you or your employer is considered an SSTB, which stands for Specified Service Trade or Business, tips received in the course of that trade or employment do not qualify. If you receive tips for performing a service that is illegal or a felony, they do not qualify for this deduction. However, if you perform a legal service for an establishment that violates applicable law, the tips may still be qualified tips. For example, let's say you are a bartender working at a restaurant that does not have an alcohol license as required by state law. Your tips may still be qualified because your occupation is on the IRS tipped occupation list and you did not personally do anything illegal. If you want to learn how qualified tips are entered from a W-2 and Form 4137, or how to claim the deduction on Schedule 1A, see my other videos on those topics. Thanks so much for watching.